Good evening, students. My name is Dwight Williams, and I'm going to be the instructor for our course, which is entitled Sociology, Principles of Sociology. I just wanted to come to you tonight from our river house here in Ophelia, Virginia. So you'll have to forgive the ceiling fan above, even though it is cooling me down. And you might hear the sounds of frogs and crickets in the night air tonight. Which is pleasant for me, but hopefully won't be too annoying for you. For tonight's message, I definitely want to let you guys know what I'm expecting from you guys on your discussion board this week. We are introducing Unit 1. This is our second discussion board. Last time you guys introduced yourself and did a wonderful job. You guys were very you were very open and honest and very respectful of each other as peers, and I really appreciate that very much. I enjoyed reading everybody's posts and everybody's responses to other people's posts. Did a great job. I'm very much looking forward to working with everybody. So for this particular discussion board this week, we're really going to get very intellectual. Sociology and the study of human societies is a big issue. It is a very difficult issue. But that's why I love the title of our particular course, called Principles in Sociology, because we're going to stay as close as we can to the basics, to the fundamentals. This is an introduction course. We do not, by the end of this semester, have to be great sociologists and theorists of human behavior. But what we do have to have when we end this course is a sense of how professional sociologists are going about their work, how they're doing everything they possibly can in scientific ways to make sense of human behavior, but also to be able to explain some of the larger forces that are at work in society. In order to do this, which is the topic of our discussion board this week, we have to understand the three major sociological schools of thought, or paradigms of thought. All right, we can use those words interchangeably: school of thought or paradigm. The three schools of thoughts are structural functionalism, social conflict theory, and the symbolic interactionism. What I would love to see from you guys this week on the discussion board is that you have, one, read the text. Chapter 1, pages 11 through 21, covers specifically the two fundamental principles and the three major concepts that more or less give the foundation for these schools of thought. And so please make sure that that's the first thing you do, is that you read that text. Also, I didn't mention the three videos that you'll see in our course content. Please make sure you watch those. What they do is they go through the founding father of each paradigm, and then, of course, what I just said, the fundamental principles and the core concepts of each paradigm. And so when you come into your discussion, the first thing I'm looking for is that you can explain and communicate the fundamental principles and the core concepts for each paradigm. So I also, in this particular part, would like for you to use the concept, define the concept, and then apply it. That is to say, give me a concrete, or give myself and your fellow students, your peers, a concrete example from everyday life, from normal, everyday observation experience. I'll give one right now. It's not specifically useful in terms of what you guys are trying to do, but further on down the semester, we're going to study a chapter on socialization. Socialization is a sociological concept, and what it does is it helps us to have a general term to understand why parents and how parents and teachers and the media and books and televisions and movies and why, just to go on a little bit further, why parents would want their children as soon as they can, as an early age as possible, to get into the sandbox with other kids, to learn how to behave around them, to learn how to be respectful, to learn how to play games and sports. It's very important, and the basic concept is socialization. So just to give you an example there, I'm going to ask you to draw your own examples for the concepts from your own everyday lives. But I thought I'd model the behavior, model the discussion a little bit myself tonight. The second part of the discussion, and what I'm really very interested in, is a little bit more personal. It's a little bit more in terms of your ability to make sense and understand these paradigms. And so what I want you to do is to analyze them and evaluate them. And basically, to keep it very short and to get to the point for your discussion and also for myself tonight in terms of my opening remarks, what I would really like you to do is to choose which of these three paradigms. Again, they are structural functionalism, social conflict theory, symbolic interactionism. Which one of those makes the most sense to you? Which one works the best for you? At least at this very early preliminary stage. It's going to get more complicated, more sophisticated understanding later. For now, I just want to know more or less which one just grabbed you from the beginning, and which one, in terms of its principles and its concepts, just makes sense a little bit more than the other two. And just, give a couple sentences after you make your decision as to why. So if I'm just making up right now, this is not necessarily how I feel as a professional, but picking symbolic interactionism, which is the micro level paradigm or school of thought, I would say something to the effect of symbolic interactionism is my favorite so far, my favorite sociological paradigm so far, simply because it deals more with our ability to walk around and interpret our own behavior reflexively or reflectively, but also in our observations of other people's behavior. And it really kind of makes sense in terms of how we interact on an everyday level and how we use language so much and how the signs and like the road signs, how we have to interpret them. I mean, there's a reason why we have to wait until we're about 16 years old or later to get our driver's license, and largely, but not entirely, that has to do with being able to read and interpret the signs along the road and the signals and gestures that other drivers make for us. And so to summarize, again, my name is Dwight Williams. I'm going to be the instructor for this course. Our course is Sociology 200, Principles of Sociology. There are two parts to the discussion board this week. The first part is simply more or less being able to articulate that you have read and the text, watched the videos, and that you understand what the fundamental principles and core concepts for each sociological paradigm are. Then the second part is deciding, at this early stage in our course, which paradigm, which school of thought makes the most sense to you, which does the best job of explaining human behavior and the larger forces at work in society, and why. All right, and finally, of course, please do, in a respectful, intelligent, intellectual, critical way, respond to two, or at least two, you're more than welcome to do more than that if you like, but at least two of your peer students' discussion board entries. Once you do that, you'll be on a great start for this course, and you'll have, no doubt, the principles that all of our sociological work is going to be based on. And then also, you will hopefully have engaged in a little bit of back and forth with a few of your fellow students in terms of what you like, what you don't like, how they're responding, encouragement, any kind of tips you have for them, if you do, and kind of just, be serious about the discussion, but also a little bit of a playful sense as well. Again, I'm looking forward to working with everybody. I think you guys did a great job in your introduce yourself discussions last week. Really enjoyed getting to know a lot of you guys. I participated in a lot of those discussions. I responded to most everybody at certain times. And so I really enjoyed that. I'm very much looking forward to reading what you guys have to say this week. And if you guys have any questions and concerns, please feel free to reach out by email or phone. And I'm happy to help in any way I can. Thank you. You guys have a great week. I'll talk to you soon.